All right, listen, everybody. Hello, hi, everybody watching on the camera. I just want you to stop what you're doing and listen to what I have to say. My name is G, and I feel like God has put something on my heart to share to each and every one of you. 75,000 more years for you is equivalent to 75,000 subscribers for myself, for this platform I have that I'll be using to share all this philosophical truth, philosophical knowledge, and just to keep it 100, as most brothers would say. But 75,000 subscribers for me is equivalent to 75 more years for you. That's how much more time you will get if you were lucky. 75 years, okay? I'm talking about 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it from that lens, it doesn't look like a lot of time, is there? Do not waste it. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things to preoccupy your existence to get back to what is important now, right now, this very second. I'm not telling you to drop everything and let the world come to a grinding halt. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can become a seeker, you can be loving more, you can be more joyous, more patient, more gentle, more good, more kind, more godly, more faithful, and more self-controlling than you are. You can be taking more chances, you can be chasing after opportunities, you can be living more on purpose, because the more you live on purpose, the less likely you are to tell yourself, I'm an accident, I'm an accident, I'm an accident. You could be spending more time with your family. This is the time to get in touch with the part of you that lives instead of fears, and to get in touch with the part of you that loves instead of hates. Why do I say this? And why did God put this on my heart? I came across a man named Ricky Hayman, an executive at a home shopping network. Okay, he's on the verge of losing his job, sales are down under his leadership, and his boss wants him out of here. His boss wants to replace him with his rival, Newell. Okay, I love Kate. Kate is very... Anyway, but then Ricky meets an interesting man, myself, named G. On a whim, Ricky puts me in front of the cameras, and as soon as I start speaking in these cameras, this home shopping network, which is just a weird place, a weird channel to put somebody like me on to speak to the world. That's kind of what you have channels like CNN for. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have CNN back then. Anyway, puts me on camera and sales begin skyrocketing, okay? What was once the lowest of lows is now the highest, the peakest of peaks. That is how this is. The tens turn into thousands, and the thousands turn into millions, and the millions turn into trillions. That is how big this is. But when the job starts to take a toll on my formerly enlightened demeanor, Ricky begins to question whether he has done the right thing. If I didn't know better, I would say that Holy Man is proof that Eddie Murphy is just experimenting in other roles outside of his comfort zone, even when that means playing a more collected and holistic character. We have already seen this dimension of his range, and this would otherwise be his second time playing this kind of character after Akeem Joffer. In the context of his career in real time, it perfectly lines up with his family man status. A holy man is a family man. Holy Man sounded like it would be a knockoff version of the Golden Child, but this is just about a man spreading positivity, joy, and optimism through his spirituality and unfiltered care. Okay, I'm not necessarily trying to preach the gospel to you. This character I'm not necessarily trying to preach the gospel to you, but you can say that if you like, because ain't nothing wrong with that. We all need to hear that. But I'm just trying to give a more philosophical breakdown on simple moral messages we hear every single day, right? We hear things like, treat others the way you want to be treated, right? Or be kind to those who are not always kind to you. Or look both ways before you cross the street. Things like that. You hear things like that all the time. And there are those lighthearted comedy. There are a lot of lighthearted comedies before and after Holy Man that have morals in the messages. There are those that do better at conveying their messages in subtle yet elegant ways, and there are those that are just as less or below Holy Man. However, Holy Man gets lucky on this one because of how the titular guru's 75 years lecture is spoken. 75 years, like I said, that's how much more time you'll get if you were lucky. This is not the only thing to come out of his mouth that is valuable, but a lot of it can be overshadowed by the lazy, generic, and one-note dialogue from the one-note side characters. Now, I would assume that before IG ran into Jeff Goldblum's Ricky and Kelly Preston's Kate, that he would already he was already spreading some peace and love to everyone on God's green earth. But if he was just gracefully cherishing God's green earth, I'm talking every 10 seconds while walking on the sidewalk or walking on the highway, kissing the ground or kissing the grass wherever he's standing on, I think it's safe to assume that Ricky and Kate are the real reasons that G wanted to propose the motion of his notion. Because I'm going to say it again, 75 years is the amount you will get if you are lucky. And sure, it sounds like it could be more, like a million more years, but come on, 75 years is better than nothing, right? When you look at it like that, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of time, but what could you be doing in that 75-year window? You could be spending more time with yourself, more time with your family, more time with your loved ones, more time with your friends, more time with God, most importantly above all, and you could be loving more patient, more gentle, more kind, more fruitful, more selfless, more self-controlling, more faithful, things of that nature. These things will not only help to better shape your relationship with him, but it will shape your mind, body, and spirit, and that is what I'm here to say. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 12% recommendation, so 12% out of a bunch of critics, not 75 critics, and I'm sure at least more than 75 say it's good. Like 12% out of the 75 at least say it's good. There are tons of family films that deliver simple messages with the moral gravitas for the audience, but Holy Man is one of the few that deserve to maintain its tight grip on everyone, but it sadly feels bogged down by a supporting cast with anonymous effect. In other words, if I ain't on screen, if I ain't in front of the camera, if it's someone like Betty White, which you do see in this movie, Betty White or James Brown, or just some old man talking about glue that sticks to the wall or self-tightening skin to the point where you only need plastic surgery no more, Michael Jackson, eat your heart out, I'm saying it is only great if G is on the screen. G is for great. If the G spot is not airing on television, on broadcast, that is when it is just lame. Okay, the numbers are only going up when the G spot is airing. Okay, and it can't be the G spot without G. So y'all have me to thank for the success of this home shopping network, and I have y'all to thank for the success of this channel, Sterling on Sinemas. And that is all I have to say about Holy Man. God bless you all and have an amazing week. 75 more amazing weeks.